So basically how this video and this type of video will work is I'm just making cocktails kind of in celebration of things I love. Maybe to kind of, sip on while you play or enjoy something. Maybe it's for a game. Maybe I'll do something for an album or a movie or a book. Who the hell knows? This episode is based on Deadly Premonition, the best video game ever made, my favorite game ever made. Deadly Premonition, if you're not aware, is a game that was actually initially released on the Xbox 360 earlier in the life cycle. The sequel, however, is a Nintendo Switch exclusive, which wild. I wasn't expecting a sequel in general, but the fact that it's a Switch exclusive is insane. I think if I had to give an elevator pitch of this game, it would just be the video game version of a B-movie set in Twin Peaks. That very much undersells, I think, what this game does and what it achieves. I mean, I could write a thesis on this game alone. Instead, I'm going to make cocktails based on this game. Harry Stewart, or Mr. Stewart as he's more often referred to in the game, is this very mysterious character. He's always pushed around in a wheelchair. He has a butler of sorts who speaks for him, who he'll whisper to. And the butler always speaks in rhyme, and it's one of those kitschy things that feel just right at place in this game. So York is having lunch at the diner in town, and who should show up but Mr. Stewart? And he orders a sandwich, the usual, which is for him 3 ingredients: turkey, strawberry jam, and cereal. Hearing this order, York gets very quiet and hushed. He's heard of this. It's called the sinner's sandwich. It's a way to atone for past sins that somebody's done in their life. By eating this sandwich, this disgusting thing, it's a way of self-inflicted punishment, because you're just forcing yourself to eat this every day because you know that you've done wrong in life and you deserve to suffer. But then Mr. Stewart's like, nah, dude, it's just a good sandwich. Lo and behold, York tries a bite of this sandwich and he's floored. It's delicious. You get some nice rock and music playing. It's the song in the game that's just a knockoff of American Idiot, very, very slightly changed. How are we gonna get the sinner sandwich into our gollets vis-a-vis liquid form? Strawberry jam, easy, delicious in the cocktail. Cereal, tricky. I found something good for this too, though. But the biggest question here: how the hell am I going to get turkey into a cocktail? But then I think in my 20-some years on Earth, the biggest light bulb moment I've ever had. I'm talking, of course, about some Wild Turkey 101. I'm a big fan of this stuff. It got me through college. It was my go-to bourbon. Well priced, but very tasty. I really dig the fact that this is a high rye content because, Jackson likes his bourbon spicy. So we've got bourbon and jam as the 2 main things going into the cocktail. I thought about some different ideas, and the one that made the most sense to me was a smash. Smashes are a type of seasonal kind of drink made with bourbon, or, maybe another kind of whiskey. Throwing all these fruits and whatever's seasonal and smashing it up. I'm gonna grab my shaker. If you have a bigger shaker, probably a little smarter to use it. The first thing you're going to want are some mint leaves in the bottom. I'm going to go for about 5 or 6 mint leaves maybe down here. Whenever you're making a drink where you're muddling mint, you're usually going to want that at the bottom of your shaker, just for the fact that when you muddle it to get those oils out, you're going to need to be expressing it on that flat surface. Next up, you're going to need 1 lemon, and you're going to cut the lemon in half. So then cut this half into half, and then cut that in half, and then put this all into the cocktail shaker with the peel facing down. Similar situation to the mint. Those oils from the lemon rind are going to add a little bit of flavor to this cocktail that you wouldn't get from just lemon juice. Next up, my favorite part of the cocktail, we are going to use 1 ounce of strawberry jam. As you can see, I'm running a little dry here. I've been making a couple of these, so this might be the last one I can make for a while. So get 1 ounce of that in there. I gotta save the little bit left in there, and you'll see why in a second. Now we're gonna need 2 ounces of bourbon, and not just any bourbon. Wild Turkey 101. This drink's gonna be like a painkiller where it has to be made with wild turkey. There's no other way. Otherwise, I can legally sue you. So now we're gonna start muddling this up. And again, you can be a little bit rougher than I can because you probably have a larger glass, but hey, you know what? It's okay. It's still gonna taste just as good for me. And again, make sure you're really expressing those lemon peels, running it all together, really muddling it. And for now, we're gonna set this to the side. So I'm gonna put my lid on it to keep the flies out. Up next now, cereal. I'm using Special K because I think a cornflake is gonna work best here. We're just gonna put 2 handfuls of this into a bag. You shouldn't need more than that. Honestly, even this is a good bit extra. If you have an ice mallet, now's a great time to break that out. You can use your fist, you can use your muddler. I use the blender once to crush this stuff up. I'm just gonna be using a rubber mallet, but you're just gonna go to town, smacking away at this cereal. Really crush it up. Wait, they got some nice cereal there. I'm gonna pour this onto a little plate right now. I would suggest a double rocks glass for this cocktail. Now pull that jam back out, and I'm really scraping the bottom for this. And start lining the edge of your glass with some. This really doesn't have to be thick at all. Now take your jammed glass and just, roll it around in that cereal. Roll it nice and good. You might even have to, sometimes use your hand to really get it on there a bit better. There you have it. A nice crunchy glass. Outside of margaritas, I never really make or drink rimmed drinks just because of the mess, but I think here it definitely is worth it. It adds a lot. Now you're gonna fill this glass up with some ice, pretty high up, close to the top. And add some ice to our cocktail shaker. And shake it up. You're just gonna pop the cap off. If you're picky, you could double strain this drink. I don't think it's necessary, just because some of those chunks of jam and whatnot, I think it's nice in there. And pour that over the ice and get it nice and full. Lastly, you're just gonna want a little sprig of mint, fresh from the garden, just to top it all off. Make sure you smack it just to express some of those oils. And there you have it, the Sinner's Smash. Oh. I mean, this drink is doing it all. It's boozy, it's sweet, it's a little sour, it's minty. I mean, this is delicious. So the wild turkey is a great choice here. It is a little spicy, but it's nice and powerful. It packs a punch. Even if for some horrible reason you were to decide to make this drink without wild turkey, I would still very strongly suggest you at least use a high-proof bourbon, something bottled and bond, or just having that extra punch really does a lot in this cocktail. And the sweetness of that strawberry jam, I used a lower sugar strawberry jam here because it worked a bit better, just relying on the more natural sweetness, I think. And that nice crunchy cereal there too. Just getting some down the rim is so nice. I mean, this is a tasty cocktail. Something great for, sitting outside in the summer by the pool. Maybe the rim might be a bit much outside because you're gonna get some flies flying towards you, but, I would say that's worth it.
You should try this wonderful lunch. It's more than a delicious, tasty crunch. So says Mr. Stewart.
Fucking flies.